03098, simple battery. It looks like we're here for a sentencing. What's the
Yes,
status?
John. I'm sorry to interrupt. The victim in the case, Adam Roby, was who's waiting in the waiting room.
I'm
Okay.
bringing him back in, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Roby, can you hear us now?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. All right, Ms. Tanner.
Thank you, Your Honor. As I previously indicated, Mr. Roby is present. He is a victim in the case. And he is interested in giving a victim impact statement. Your Honor, Mr. Sarconi is 30 years old. Mr. Roby is 46 years old. The victim has indicated to the city that he would like, Your Honor, to impose the maximum time in custody. The defendant in this case is a friend to the victim's roommate, ex-roommate. This fight occurred in the street as the victim was picking up his belongings that were placed on a sidewalk. The defendant came up to him, attacked him, slapped, kicked, punched, and bit him. Mr. Sarconi has a concerning history. He was just arrested in November of 2023 for home invasion and burglary. 2022, he was arrested for a probation violation. 2021, he was convicted of domestic battery. 2016, petty larceny and contempt arrest. 2015, harassment, and the history goes on and on for a 30-year-old man. With this, Your Honor, Mr. Sarconi has shown that he is violent. He's violent towards people in our community, and that he's unable to comply by terms of probation, as he has been arrested for probation violations and not complying with court orders multiple times. So I think Mr. Roby's request is appropriate in this case. I'm going to ask that you impose jail time. Probation appears based on this history that probation would be fruitless. He's not going to comply with any sort of treatment or any sort of requirements that he's shown out with his history. So I'm going to ask that you impose 120 days Washoe County Jail, no alternative sentencing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mayhew.
Your Honor, we'd be asking for a suspended sentence in this case. He's currently waived on a home invasion. The residential burglary was dismissed as pursuant to those negotiations. The DA's office agreed to probation. It is a no opposition to probation case. Defense is free to argue for diversion, which means that Mr. Sarconi can do a program for a year. So, I mean, those are pretty significant negotiations for somebody like Mr. Sarconi when you have the Washoe DA's office agreeing to probation, knowing his history and having the criminal history at their disposal. So we would ask for a suspended sentence given that the negotiation is for probation. If Your Honor is inclined to do a suspended sentence, maybe adding active jail time as a condition of that suspended sentence, maybe 10 days. He's been in for about 4. My understanding is Mr. Sarconi has lived in Reno for 30 years at his current residence for the last 2. He does have a wife and kids. He's got a 10-year-old, a 13-year-old, and a 15-month-old, Your Honor. So that would be our request.
Thank you. Mr. Sarconi, the law affords you the opportunity to be heard prior to sentencing. The victim in this case, Mr. Roby, will be heard from last. Is there anything you want to tell me before I sentence you? I'm very concerned about your prior criminal history. I'm extremely concerned about the facts and circumstances of this case.
Yes, Your Honor. I do first want to apologize to the victim. I've never met him before in my life. I was pretty intoxicated. And as for the ex-roommate of his, I no longer want to be friends with. My main goal right now is to follow through probation, and just be there for my youngest son, as he's so young, he needs me. I never meant for any of this to happen, and if I get granted the probation or whatever, I will follow through every single term. I've done probation before. I've done the 26 weeks classes. I've paid my fines, and I want to be an outstanding citizen. I'm getting old and I'm tired. I'm tired of getting in trouble.
All right, thank you. Mr. Roby, thank you for being here today. What would you like to tell the court?
So the part about meeting Mr. Cerrone is the only true statement that I agree with so far. The expression "bury this kid underneath the jail." We will be filing additional charges because this individual has never met me. My previous roommate Jazz Perez was informed I was attacked previously, which resulted in a TBI and PTSD. So, an upstanding citizen, when somebody has their stuff thrown out onto the sidewalk because of a previous agreement with the roommate saying, "Come get your stuff Sunday. Now it's Friday night at 10:30. I'm just going to throw it out on a whim." That's luring somebody into an ambush. So so we're going to be going after Miss Perez and Mr. Cerrone for solicitation of an illegal act and willing to solicit an illegal act. Using his children as an excuse. During the fight, he tried to use that excuse on me when I was restraining him of "I'm a father, I have a family." I'm just trying to recover my property from a psychotic roommate who destroyed it. So any mercy that this individual has been given has been a waste of resources to the city. He's already on probation. He's already gone through programs. The DA seems to be in agreement that none of this works. So letting him out where he can just go act like some sort of TV, the kid's seen too much TV and wants to act like a thug. This fight lasted about 6 minutes, and all I did was restrain Mr. Ciccone while he was attempting to punch, kick, bite me, and So I don't know if the word attempted murder needs to be brought up, but we will be pursuing additional charges for an assault for hire, as I just stated. Yeah, at this point, like I said, I think I'll be also filing a complaint with CPS because what kind of father just goes and randomly tries to attack someone they don't know? That there says what, the very nature of his character. If he is a habitual problem, don't put him out on the street again.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate your comments this morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Mayhew makes a good point. It's very unusual for the DA's office to engage in that type of a negotiation, given the criminal history. It's somewhat little perplexing, I would say. Mr. Ciccone, you have a horrible criminal history, and you're only 30 years old.
I'm trying to be a better person. Honestly, I didn't know Jess had an agreement.
Sir, I already gave you a chance to speak. All right. The rules of procedure dictate that the victim has the last word in this case, so you are not going to say anything more.
Okay.
I'm going to try and structure a sentence which punishes you, gets your attention, but will not interfere with your district court case. But you're not going to get released on this case. You're going to do active time.
Not much time.
And then when you're done with the active time, you need to stop talking and don't interrupt me again. I could very well just give you 6 months and say, move on.
I'm sorry.
And I'm really close to doing that. Because you're out there committing more crimes. A home invasion, a burglary. You know how a home invasion affects a victim?
I know, I'm sorry.
You're lucky to be standing there because you know what, in Nevada, you come into someone's home, you can be shot. And this is not funny. And you shaking your head when the victim was talking to me was totally inappropriate. You're going to be sentenced as follows. 179 days in the Washoe County Jail. I'm going to suspend that for a period of 1 year. On the following terms and conditions. You're going to attend and complete a 26-week anger management class. Apparently the first time it didn't didn't stick, so we're going to do it again at your own expense.
Okay.
Did I tell you to talk? You're going to serve 90 active days in the Washoe County Jail. No alternative sentencing. Now, by the time you get to your sentencing, in all likelihood, you will be done with the sentence or at least very close to it. So I'm trying to do a structure this so that it doesn't negatively impact your district court case, but it gives you the necessary punishment that you deserve for your actions in this case and for your continued criminal activity in this community. The community needs to be protected from you at this point. And don't give me a smirk. Obey all laws. You're going to be under enhanced supervision, which means random testing at the marshal's discretion. No drugs, no alcohol, no medication without prescription, no marijuana. No contact whatsoever with the victim, Adam Roby. That includes by third parties, any social media. No contact is absolutely no contact. Are we clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want you to obtain a substance abuse evaluation upon your release. Actually, I'm not going to do that. You're going to have to do a substance abuse evaluation anyway before your sentencing in district court. So there's no sense in duplicating that effort. All right, so you're going to start your 90 days active, no alternative sentencing. I'm going to note this file, no second chances. So if you blow it, you so much as look the wrong way, you don't complete a class, you're late for a check-in, you don't check in with your marshal, you test positive for alcohol, you're going to do the balance of the 179 days. Do you understand?
I understand.
All right, good luck to you, sir. That'll be the order.
We'll recall the matter of Ypsilanti Township versus Laquan Fortenberry, case number 24W000271.
Paul Barnett on behalf of the township.
Public Defender Davi Leba on behalf of Mr. Fortenberry. Mr. Fortenberry, please state your name, sir.
LaQuan Fortenberry.
Thank you. All right, this matter was passed, so you can talk to Mr. Fortenberry about his matter as well as the violation of probation. What would your client like to do, Mr. Lebo?
With regard to the bond violation, Mr. Fortenberry will be pleading guilty to that.
Mr. Fortenberry, please raise your right hand to be sworn.
Okay.
And also, please take off your hat.
So my hood.
Yes. I can't see your hand, sir.
I'm sorry.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you. You may lower your hand. It's my understanding, sir, that you understand you have a right to have a hearing regarding this bond violation, but you're choosing to waive that. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Is it true that you're admitting that you tested positive for THC? Well, actually, I'm not including them, that you missed samples from March 7th through March 18th of 2024, sir.
Yes.
All right, I find that there's a knowing and willing admission to the violation. Are you satisfied, Mr. Barnett?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
What does your client have to say about why he's missing all these tests?
Your Honor, Mr. Fortenberry works as an over-the-road truck driver. What he tells me is he was unable to get to testing because he was not able to get the time off work in order to be reporting to community corrections. I did explain to him, that's very important that when the court orders him to do something, that he do it. That if somebody's unable to, he needs to contact the court or community corrections to let them know, and he does tell me he understands that now.
There you go. Well,
Mr. Barnett, anything you'd like to say regarding this matter?
Just that he needs to start testing.
It looks like they were testing him for drugs. Well, no, this is a PBT. Okay, so he's missed all these PBTs. He had drugs and PBTs. So are there allegations of drugs or only alcohol?
I believe it's an open intox in a vehicle, so I believe it's alcohol, Your Honor.
That's my understanding as well, Your Honor.
So I want to test him for the alcohol. So if he can't get in to take the test, he can get on the scram or a tether. Which one would he like?
Mr. Fortenberry, would you prefer to have
Why
it?
do I gotta go on a tether? The police officers didn't test me for alcohol or nothing. I just got pulled over and there was a bottle of alcohol in the car. Why do I gotta test for drugs and alcohol when it's just I don't get why I'm testing for all this for. And I don't got the time in the day to go test. Like I'm over the road half of the week.
All right. So we're gonna have Mr. Fortenberry come into court here next. Let's see him on April 3rd.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to get the time off work.
Well, then bench warrant will pick you up, put you in jail, and see if we can have you get the time off that way. April 3rd, 2024 at 11 a.m. We'll see you in person.
Feel like a setup. I guess.
Mr. Fortenberry, you should stop talking.
I'm saying I just got stopped for alcohol, but now I'm all of a sudden
Mr.
alcohol
Fortenberry.
a fiend.
Mr.
Okay.
Mr. Fortenberry, you need to test within 24 hours. If you don't, I'm issuing an immediate warrant.
Well, I'm not gonna make it in 24 hours, so you can just send me one.
All right, then I'll just do that right now. Bench warrant to issue $20,000 cash as surety.
That's what happened when you black in the mirror.
All right, defendant is also held in contempt of court. And anytime you get on the contempt, stacks on top of the other charge, just so you know.
Thank you.
People versus Turner. Mr. Turner, can you hear us?
Yes, I am here.
Did he say yes?
He was talking. No, I'm here,
Yeah, Mr.
John. I asked it. I'm here, John. I asked it. I'm here. I asked if the charges be dropped because I have applied several documentation showing that the arrest was unlawful. I went to Chase Bank to discuss why my car was cut because I have no home. I was living out of my vehicle, and I had obtained 2 tickets that caused my license to be suspended due to a cop being a cause of homosexual. My car had got totaled when I had a Chevy Cruze, and it had got stopped in the middle of the road. And because I told the cop not to touch me because I had a gash in my arm, he got offended and wrote me a ticket saying that I impeded traffic and that I had insurance that wasn't valid. My insurance had literally just expired. I had showed him documentation of me leaving my apartment because I have a signed documentation from Richard Page from the Allen Park judicial system saying to remove without prejudice, but I couldn't find an apartment because most people were discriminatory against that eviction notice, that eviction on my record. So I had reported human trafficking when I was sleeping in Heritage Park, which the cops failed to respond the day of. I actually watched somebody get forced into a blue van and sexually assaulted. So several days later, someone else called because of this van, and they approached my car. I had cussed these cops out because I had called before, and one of the officers recognized my voice and said, "Okay, Mr. Turner, I know who you are. You called again the first time, but somebody else had called in." And I said, "Yeah, I don't understand why you guys are approaching my vehicle because I work for Walmart in Woodhaven, and I have no place to stay." So they left my car alone, and they continued to harass me. They gave me 2 tickets after that, after I left the library. And then when I went to the park several days later, they had took my car, impounded it without a warrant, without probable cause. I got my car out of impound because I had unemployment benefits that was deposited into my account after that incident, which was a couple $1,000, which all that got eaten away because I had to pay to get the car out of tow. I had to pay for a hotel because the officer that took my car the first time, she had no warrant, no probable cause, and she took and threw me out of my car, threw my belongings out of my car, and left me stranded with all my luggage and in the cold weather. This was in January. Then on January 18th, I went to the bank because I had filed a dispute about a transaction regarding my hotel stay because the hotel stay left my bedroom door open while I was asleep. So I filed a dispute with the Chase Bank, but they cut my card because I used profanity to express my frustration at how they were not honoring the fact that the hotel breached the contract of my safety by leaving my bedroom door open while I was asleep. So I went to Chase Bank. I recorded this footage and I put it on my Facebook. I also submitted a USB to the attorneys that was assigned by the previous judge assigned to my case. But because that judge and those attorneys are racist and corrupt, they poorly represented me and gave me the crappiest deal possible. Even though I submitted USB with that information on there, and I also submitted documentation of my homelessness and my court date with unemployment to get the rest of my benefits because it's scheduled in April. So here it is. I'm without no place to stay. No, I have not had a good decent night's rest since January 18th. After I left the hotel, after I got dismissed from the jail cell, these cops had sexually assaulted me in that jail cell. They detained me, then they took me to processing where they sat there and they lied on paper saying I was suicidal. They have audio on those camera footages, and I asked them. I said, okay, I should be suicidal because of what y'all just did. Y'all just took my car, knowing I live out of my car, because I presented documentation to the officers that were showed up at the scene of the incident. I have a signed eviction notice on hand in my glove compartment that I keep on me just in case cops stop me because of my car issues that I have. I didn't have money to get my paperwork straight due to the fact that I've been homeless.
Mr. Turner, you're in court, and all this conversation you're having is being recorded.
I know that's the point, because this lawyer that was appointed to my case is purposely poorly representing me. He told me the reason why he would not get my car in the deal that they tried to present to me, meaning they were going to drop all 4 tickets that occurred at the bank. I'm like, okay, if you're going to drop all 4 tickets that occurred, if you're going to drop all 4, tickets that occurred at the bank, why is my car?
Mr. Turner, you're probably going to have to come into court in person to resolve these, because I just don't understand what you're saying. Counselor, Judge, what do you say?
Judge,
if you listen to what I'm saying, I'm asking all charges to be dismissed, and I'm asking the release of my vehicle from the impound.
Mr. Turner, I'll tell you when to talk. Now is not the time. Counselor.
Why is it not? You just asked me to speak up.
Mr. Turner. I'm going to adjourn this case for 1 week. I expect you to be in court on the in Goddard Road in Taylor. I want you in person. No more of this zooming in. If you're not here next week, I'll issue a warrant for your arrest. You understand?
Why? Why do I have to attend? I don't have transportation, and I don't have income right now.
I can't understand you.
Excuse me?
I'm adjourning this for 1 week. I expect you to be
Why am I
person.
being subpoenaed to show up in person when I have no transportation or no income coming in?
You're being ordered to come in. You're not being subpoenaed. If you don't come in,
order subpoena is the same thing. So why am I being ordered to show up in person when I was told that I can do it via Zoom because of my situation, lack of transportation, lack of income right now? It costs money to catch a bus. It costs money to get a lift. I don't have any income at the moment in time. I am homeless and I have not had sleep since they took my car illegally. I provided evidence showing that they lied about how they detained me. Why has it not been included with my situation as far as the plea that they gave me?
Anything else?
What's that?
For the record, Judge, I have reached out to Ms. Patton with MIDC. Mr. Turner doesn't want us to represent him anymore, and we're trying to arrange other counsel.
Okay.
Yeah, because you guys are all racist and corrupt. Y'all trying to sit there and give me a hard time when I'm homeless and I provide documentation showing that I'm innocent with the tickets they gave me. That's why they're trying to drop the 4 tickets in the first place. If they're trying to drop the 4 tickets from the bank incident, why are they not releasing my car? That's the problem I have, because I have recorded evidence. I have recorded evidence that the police are lying about the situation. And they have recorded evidence.
See about getting a black attorney for you.
What's that? What'd you say?
I said, see you next week.
No, you said something about a. Oh.
Your Honor, we ask that you accept the negotiated plea. I did want to let you know that my client has been very proactive in changing his life. He has sent me proof that he has been doing mental health counseling and anger management at a Clifton Springs in Decatur, Georgia. He's also completed the DUI risk reduction course. I thought I had sent it to Miss Williams, but it was sitting in my outbox, so I can get that to her. And so, Your Honor, I think my client is on the right track. We just ask that you accept the plea.
Okay, so he's spending 28 more days in jail, is my understanding. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, that was the negotiated plea.
How are we doing that? Weekends, what?
Your Honor, we had discussed him turning himself in next week. We did not discuss weekends. I
mean, if he wants to do straight time, that's fine, but you know, that's up to him.
Mr. Williams, would you prefer to do weekends?
Yes, I prefer. Yeah, weekends will actually be great. That way I can still go to work. I just have to make some adjustments on the weekend schedule, but I can work during the week. That'll help a whole lot.
Okay.
And no objection from the state.
Well, Mr. Williams, you've been proactive, so let's see if we can keep your job.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Williams, I will accept your plea of guilty to counts 1, 6, and 8. Count 2, 3, and 4 will be no pros. Count 5 will merge with count 6. Count 7 will merge with count 8, and count 9 will be no pros. On count 1 is 12 months to serve 30 days, credit for 2 days. Balance will be probated for you to pay a fine in the amount of $500. It's going to be closer to $1,000 with the surcharges. 40 hours of 40 hours of community service, a risk reduction course, which you've already done. You'll show proof of that to your probation officer. And you're to have no alcohol or drugs. You're subject to random screens for alcohol or drugs. And you'll do a clinical substance abuse evaluation and any treatment that they may order you to do. Count 6 is 12 months probation, a fine in the amount of $300. That's going to be $444 with the surcharges. 40 hours of community service. The Family Violence Intervention Program, that's a 24-week course, so you got to start that as soon as you can so that you can complete the entire 24 weeks. You're to have no contact with Bianca Blessed, and you're not to have any alcohol or illicit drugs during the course of your probation. And count 6 will run consecutive to count 1. On the count number 8, 12 months probation, a fine in the amount of $200, which is going to be $298 with the surcharges, and you're to have no alcohol or illicit drugs, and you're subject to random screens for alcohol and illicit drugs, and that will run concurrent to number 6. So count 6 runs consecutive to count 1, and count 8 runs concurrent to count 6. You got that, Ms. Wright?
And Your Honor, the victim is present and does wish to make a statement when the court is ready.
All right,
Yes, ma'am, I have that. I'm
All
sorry
right,
for
thank you, ma'am.
interrupting.
No, I just wanted to make sure I said it right. Miss Blessed, unmute for me, please, and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes.
All right, you can put your hand down. Go ahead, ma'am. Tell me what you need me to know.
From talking to the office, I'm okay with the decision that you guys have made, but I do have a question because in regards to his work, he's not supposed to have contact with me, but he works for my family. So that's a conflict of interest. Yes. And that's the reason why I wanted to speak, because his employment, I am the person that got him the job when he was working with my father. My father passed away and he's there. Now, I had a conversation with my grandmother and I've had a conversation with my uncle about him working. If he's going to work on the weekends, I will not be around. But if it's during the weekday, I don't know, because I go up there pretty frequent. And I just had a celebration for my father up there Saturday.
What, let me ask this. What kind of business is it?
Mr. Williams is a mechanic. It's an auto shop, a floral shop, and it's a tax service. So we sell cars, we rent cars, pretty much everything.
Okay. And he's still employed there?
Mm-hmm.
Well, how have y'all worked it out up until this point?
Well, that was, if I may be honest, initially I did not know that me and him was not supposed to have contact with one another until we got into an argument not too long ago. And I did not know that it was a stay away order in effect, because immediately when he got out, he came back home. So this has been going on for a while. He would be up there sometimes, and sometimes he wouldn't. He's not consistent. He was supposed to have been up there working every single day, but he has not been up there every single day.
Excuse me.
Mr.
Yes,
Williams, I
ma'am.
would advise you right now not to say a word, sir.
Mr. Williams, please don't say anything.
I was just saying I resigned.
Mr. Williams,
Okay.
see, you need to listen, because what's on the table is felony charges. So I'm gonna need you to be quiet. Ms. Hahn, would Mr. Williams like to change his plea to straight time? And if he does the straight time, then he can work something else out when he gets out about where he's going to be employed, because they're looking for mechanics everywhere. Do you do diesel, Mr. Williams?
Yes, ma'am, but that's what I was saying.
Hold up. I asked you one question. Do you do diesel?
Yes, ma'am.
Because they're looking for diesel mechanics everywhere. A diesel
Yes, ma'am.
mechanic can get a job. What I'm
Yes,
saying to
ma'am.
you is you may not need to work with Miss Blessed's family's company again. You
Yeah,
understand?
I'm not. That's what I'm putting on the record. I'm not.
All right. So I will
got a
give
whole nother
him
job.
till Friday to turn himself in. That way he can shut down his household.
Your Honor.
But he needs to do the 30 days straight time.
Will that be this Friday coming up? Or because he has some doctor's appointments. We were hoping that he would be able to turn himself in next week.
Long as he doesn't go anywhere near Miss Blessed or the business, then I don't care. So we can make it next Friday. Mr. Williams, now listen
I
to me.
understand. I don't even work there.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. My speaker was on. I'm sorry.
Okay, who is there with you now, Mr. Williams? Turn your video on. I need to see you. I'm not done yet.
My girlfriend right here, man.
All right, ma'am, go somewhere and sit down. You don't have nothing to do with this. You'll be here next year with a case. Go sit down somewhere.
Go ahead. What?
She don't have nothing to do with this, Mr. Williams. Tell her to go sit down somewhere. If I see her again, I'm gonna hold her in contempt. You need to finish your business. She ain't got nothing to do with your business. You hear me? We clear? All right, thank you. Now, what I'm saying to you is you no longer work for Miss Blessed's family's company. Number one. Number two, you're going to do straight 30 days. I'll give you till next Friday to turn yourself in. I don't care. But you're not to have any contact with Miss Blessed and her family. They can mail you your last check. Your girlfriend ain't to have no contact with Miss Blessed and or her family, because if somebody contacts them on your behalf, that's still seen as you contacting them. Now, because you didn't pay any attention to the court's order that you not have contact with Miss Blessed, what is sitting on the table right now is felony charges of aggravated stalking, which is punishable by up to 10 years in prison, a $10,000 fine, or both. Had you read your bond conditions instead of just throwing them away or stuffing them in your pocket, then you would realize that you were not to have any contact with Miss Blessed. If you needed to work something out for work, you would have come back to the court and we would have had a discussion about that and maybe made some changes, but you messed up. So what I'm going to advise you right now is you don't say a blessed word. We clear?
Clear.
Not another word. Don't say nothing. Don't answer nothing. Don't do nothing. What I need you to do is Friday, you're going to come to the jail. You're going to turn yourself in. You're going to get there at 6 p.m. You'll get out 30 days from now or 28 days from now at 6 p.m. And once you get out, then you can resume your life, but it will have nothing to do with Miss Blessed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Blessed, put your hand down. I'm not talking to you right now. You can't have any contact with her. Are you clear?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
when I put it in an order and I wrote it down, you didn't listen. So what I'm trying to do is tell you that if you have any contact with Miss Blessed from this point forward, then I will make sure somebody takes out a felony warrant for aggravated stalking. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we clear?
Yes.
Okay. Because I swear, Mr. Williams, that I probably told you this information at your arraignment when you entered a not guilty plea. And you still went running back to Miss Blessed. So if you have heard nothing else I've said, please don't do this again. I'm making you do 30 days straight time just because I don't feel like having somebody do the felony warrant right now. But trust, the next time you mess up, when I tell you not to do something, you going upstairs to the Superior Court. We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
You heard me when I say the felony I'm thinking about is punishable by up to 10 years in prison.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Because I mean, sometimes I don't think y'all listen to me. All right, now, Miss Blessed, you had something to say, ma'am?
I did. It probably doesn't even matter at this point because we still have another case with one another as well.
Where's that case?
It's in Fulton County.
That was what the bond revocation was based on, Your Honor, with the new charges.
Oh yeah, that's a bond revocation. Anytime he gets picked up and he was on probation, then he'll get it. But Mr. Williams, Miss Blessed, and y'all don't need to see each other ever again. Y'all got too much going on that's negative. Okay? So yeah, y'all don't need to see each other ever again. The only exception would be if y'all are compelled to go to court and y'all see each other in court, but you should have no contact other than what the judge allows. Are we clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, because some people don't need to be together, and that's okay. All right, Mr. Williams, are you clear on what I'm asking you to do?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Hahn, do you have his email address so he can get his sentencing sheet? Mr. Williams, don't play me. Next Friday, you'll be turning yourself in. What date is that? Into the Clayton County Jail at 6 p.m. That's at 9157 Terra Boulevard. You wear as little as possible, dress warm because it's cold in the jail. Don't bring nothing of value. If you have medications, make sure that they're in a proper prescription bottle and they are labeled with your name and your prescription. Otherwise, don't bring anything that you need. We clear?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so that will be April 19th at 6 p.m. Don't be late or else they'll turn you away. And if they turn you away, you got to come back and see me.
Your Honor, next Friday would be the 26th.
Wait a minute. Why he need that much time, Miss Hahn?
Your Honor, he had an injury and he's got some doctor's appointments that he was trying to reschedule, and that was what we had negotiated with the prosecutor as well.
That's fine. All right, the 26th then. I'm sorry, Miss Wright. 26th.
Thank you.
Mr. Williams, don't mess up, please, sir. Please, sir. Please.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Blessed, y'all company can send Mr. Williams his check by whatever address y'all have on file for him. But other than that, don't have no contact with Mr. Williams.
That's fine.
All right, thank you. All right,
Yeah.
Mr. Williams, you're free to go at this time, sir. No, wait, you're not. You have probation. Hold on, let me put you in a probation, a breakout room with Miss James. Now, Mr. Williams, ask Miss James any questions that you might have about probation, because once you get out of jail, you're going to go to probation and complete any of those assignments that I've given you. So make sure that you have ask any questions that you might have of Miss James. And the quickest way to get rearrested is to not appear for your probation report. So if you miss your probation reports, you definitely gonna get picked up and put back in jail. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm putting you in the breakout room with Miss James. Once you finish, you're free to go.
All right.